Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Kazuha, this fight was not a fight between you and him. It truly wasn't. No, you were fighting with those brats who were being a little bit too mean to some kids on the street. And as you tried to chase them, you ended up slipping down the stairs and breaking your ankle. And that's when someone had called Kaza to get you. Kaza was extremely worried as he went over to your side, wrapping his arms around you and asking you what happened. And as soon as you tell him the incident, he tries to keep the mask over his darkening face. As he carries you back home, he takes care of the injury, bandaging you up and giving you a little kiss, telling you to help you get better. Oh, does it help indeed? It helps very much. And then he tells you he has some errands to deal with. And if those boys are punched by the end of the day, or perhaps before it even ends, then it totally was not him. He comes back very quickly, though, to take care of you and make sure you're okay. He would cook for you and carry you around. Even though you start getting better quickly, he worries a lot and never wants you to overexert yourself when you're tired. So that's why he'd be cuddling you and smiling you a little bit too much. But he only just wants you to get better and recover in the best way you can. He doesn't see the need for you to push yourself when you could just be by your side when you need him. And honestly, he's a bit of a king for that. Heizou, this was a little silly. The two of you never meant for things to get so far. But you were having a pillow fight, and maybe one of you got a little bit too excited when running. And that's how you ended up slipping up, falling, and breaking your ankle. Heizou was extremely guilty, and he kept apologizing, though some parts of him found this funny, and he had to stifle a giggle. It was really hard, okay? He didn't know how to react to this, but he knew how to be smooth. And when he bandaged up your ankle, he gave you a soft look, stroking your hair. I love you, Ian. I'm so sorry this happened. He'd say softly, and honestly, you're all sold. Because Heizou could give you the best sorry puppy face, and that's it. He is forgiven. He could have done the worst things in the world, but somehow you can never reject an apology from him. To be honest though, this was kinda partially your fault, for being so careless. At least the two of you had fun. And Heizou doesn't leave you alone either, staying by your side when you need him, and making sure to take care of you. He even reads your riddles as you're sat on bed for a few days, trying to help you solve them and seeing if you could solve them on your own. It was kind of funny for him to watch you struggle and ask for his help over and over. And honestly, maybe that's why he did it. He loved it when you asked for his help. And probably that's also why he only picked the hardest riddles. Poor you. Scaramouche. Well, the two of you are fighting. Roughly. Yes, the two of you have those fights from time to time, and maybe it was his fault. Yes, it was more his fault, to be honest, even if you would not like to admit it. But as soon as you break your ankle, it's like all he does, and all the fight in him leaves him. He's staring, pale, and his hands are trembling. Lion, I didn't mean to push you so hard. I... Scared sign. I just... I think the two of us got ahead of ourselves, he said. It hurt, and you won't deny that you're upset. But it wasn't like the two of you were not fighting each other back. You were not completely innocent in this. But guilt still filled his heart, and he leaned out to pick you up in his arms, putting you down on the bed. I'll get you a doctor. Please, don't try to move, he said, so gently, so softly. Oh, if only he could be like that sometimes. He did get you a good doctor and a healer, so it barely lasted for 2 days, and he was extremely sorry, making sure not to be so rough around you. He hasn't adjusted for having to be with someone who he can't fight with like that. Being in the abyss, and having been with Child and Senora, people whom he was used to fighting, it was different. And so were you. And he wanted to take care of you, without ever causing you harm. So that's why he'll take note of the situation and make sure it never happens again. Cyno. Cyno is extremely sorry. Like very sorry. The two of you were sparring. He told him you loved his fighting style, and you only wished to be a fraction as good as him one day. And since he loves you so much, he found no qualms about teaching you how to fight on your own and sparring with you. Maybe he got a little bit too excited and overestimated you a little bit. And that's why your ankle was broken right now. But you were an extremely good sport about it, and we were extremely happy too. Telling him that this comes with learning. Well, maybe you weren't happy, but you were giving him a smile, and you were trying your best to seem like you were happy. It did hurt a lot, though. You won't deny that. Even when you tried to stand on your own, like the stubborn idiot that you were, he ended up scolding you, fondly, lifting you up, and taking you back home. He would nurse you back to health, and perhaps even ask Tanari for something to help you heal quicker. But he'd still feel guilty, even though so many times he would keep telling him not to. It was only practice, and he had done well to teach you, and this was bound to happen from time to time. However, that doesn't stop him from kissing your injured ankle and bending his head down to it, apologizing. And honestly, it's adorable, and maybe you don't mind him giving you kisses there. He's soft and so, so sweet. Perhaps even sweeter than honey itself. That's how sweet it was to be with Cyno, even as weird as he seems from time to time. But you loved him, and he loved you, and that's all that mattered.